A tale of courage, redemption, and second chances. Welcome to Life Tells Stories, the channel where extraordinary tales of courage, love, and resilience come alive. Today, we bring you a gripping narrative that asks a profound question. What happens when a simple act of bravery changes the life of a millionaire forever? This is the story of how a millionaire, Alexander Moore, was saved by a homeless woman, Eleanor, and how their intertwined lives led to a series of events no one could predict. If you're moved by stories that touch the heart and inspire change, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Show your support by liking this video and sharing it with others who appreciate powerful stories. Alexander Moore, a renowned millionaire, seemed to have everything. He was wealthy, influential, and respected in business circles. But beneath his polished exterior, Alexander struggled with a sense of emptiness. His life, though glamorous on the surface, lacked depth and purpose. One fateful evening, after attending a high-profile gala, Alexander decided to leave early. The speeches were long and uninspiring, and he craved a quiet moment away from the crowd. Walking through the dimly lit streets, he accidentally turned into an unfamiliar alley. Before he could retrace his steps, three men confronted him, their intentions clear and menacing. Well, what do we have here? One of them sneered, his eyes scanning Alexander's expensive suit and watch. Hand over everything, rich boy. Alexander's heart raced as he assessed the situation. But before he could comply or call for help, a voice rang out from the shadows. The police are on their way. Leave now while you still can. Emerging from the darkness was Eleanor, a homeless woman armed with nothing but a metal rod and unshakable courage. Her boldness startled the attackers, and after a brief standoff, they fled. Alexander's life was spared, and he stood frozen, overwhelmed by the unexpected turn of events. Eleanor's worn clothes and tired face revealed the hardships she had endured, but her bravery and quick thinking left a lasting impression. Thank you, Alexander finally managed, his voice tinged with disbelief. You saved my life. Just be more careful next time, Eleanor replied, already turning to leave. Little did either of them know, their lives were about to become inextricably linked. Despite returning to his opulent home that night, Alexander couldn't stop thinking about Eleanor. Who was this woman? What had driven her to live on the streets? And why had she risked her life for a stranger? 2 days later, as Alexander reviewed reports in his office, his receptionist announced an unexpected visitor. Mr. Moore, there's a woman here to see you. She says you know her. Curious, Alexander went to the lobby and found Eleanor, now cleaner and with a determined expression. She explained that she needed help, a chance to rebuild her life. While her request was simple, her presence carried an unspoken plea for dignity. Ignoring the skepticism of his staff, Alexander offered her a position as his personal assistant. It was an unusual decision, but something about Eleanor's courage and honesty resonated deeply with him. You'll start tomorrow, he said, handing her a folder of tasks. Prove to me that I made the right choice. Eleanor arrived at the office promptly the next morning, dressed in modest yet professional attire. Though her borrowed clothes betrayed her circumstances, she carried herself with quiet confidence. Her colleagues, however, weren't as welcoming. Whispers of doubt and disdain filled the office as she was introduced. What does she know about business? One employee muttered. This is a charity case, not a hire. Unfazed by the negativity, Eleanor dove into her work. Her first task was to organize Alexander's schedule and prepare for a crucial investors' meeting. Despite her lack of corporate experience, she demonstrated a natural aptitude for problem-solving and attention to detail. During the meeting, a financial error in the presentation nearly jeopardized the deal. Eleanor, noticing the discrepancy, discreetly pointed it out to Alexander. Her intervention saved the day. earning her a nod of approval from Alexander and surprising everyone else in the room. From that moment on, it was clear that Eleanor was more than capable. Her determination and intelligence silenced her critics, though she remained an enigma to most of her colleagues. Alexander's curiosity about Eleanor's past grew with each passing day. During a casual lunch, he asked her directly, "You're incredibly skilled. Where did you learn all this?" After a moment of hesitation, Eleanor shared her story. She revealed that she had once been part of a wealthy family. Her father's business, Reed Enterprises, had thrived for years until a series of devastating financial losses forced them into bankruptcy. Desperate to save their fortunes, her father arranged for her to marry a powerful investor. Refusing to be used as a pawn, Eleanor ran away, choosing a life of hardship over one without autonomy. As Eleanor spoke, Alexander's guilt began to surface. Digging into his company's archives that evening, he discovered that years ago, a decision to terminate contracts with smaller businesses had contributed to Reed Enterprises' collapse. Though unintentional, his actions had indirectly led to Eleanor's downfall. Determined to make amends, Alexander launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding Reed Enterprises. What he uncovered was shocking. Richard Carter, a former associate, had manipulated the situation to benefit his own interests. By pressuring companies like Reed Enterprises into failure, Carter had profited immensely. Alexander confronted Carter, demanding accountability. Carter, unrepentant, dismissed Alexander's concerns. "It's just business," he said with a smug grin. But Alexander wasn't deterred. He vowed to expose Carter's unethical practices, knowing it would be a long and dangerous fight. As Alexander's investigation gained traction, Carter's tactics turned aggressive. Threats began pouring in, and one night, Eleanor was kidnapped by Carter's men. The message was clear: drop the case or face dire consequences. Refusing to bow to intimidation, Alexander mobilized his resources and located the warehouse where Eleanor was being held. In a daring rescue mission, he confronted the kidnappers and freed Eleanor. Though shaken, she was unharmed, and their bond grew stronger through the ordeal. The challenges they faced together brought Alexander and Eleanor closer. Her resilience and integrity inspired him to reevaluate his priorities. No longer driven solely by profits, Alexander began using his wealth to create meaningful change. Their relationship blossomed into love, culminating in a heartfelt proposal. Alexander chose to hold their wedding at the shelter Eleanor once called home, symbolizing a shared commitment to second chances and new beginnings. Motivated by her past experiences, Eleanor envisioned creating a shelter for the homeless. With Alexander's support, she brought this dream to life. The shelter provided not only food and housing, but also education and job training, offering people the tools to rebuild their lives. The shelter's grand opening was a moment of triumph. As Eleanor addressed the crowd, her voice filled with passion, Alexander watched with pride. She had found her purpose, and he was honored to stand beside her. The evidence against Richard Carter was overwhelming. With Alexander's support, the authorities launched an investigation that exposed Carter's corruption. Facing public disgrace and legal repercussions, Carter's empire crumbled. Though the fight was arduous, it marked the end of a dark chapter for Eleanor and Alexander. Justice had prevailed, and the weight of the past was finally lifted. Shortly after their wedding, Eleanor discovered she was pregnant. The news brought joy and a renewed sense of purpose. Together, she and Alexander looked forward to building a family and expanding the shelter's reach. Their journey, filled with pain, perseverance, and love, became a testament to the power of redemption and human connection. They proved that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to create a brighter future. Alexander and Eleanor's story is a powerful reminder of the transformative power of compassion and resilience. Their journey from despair to hope demonstrates that no matter how dark life gets, there's always a chance for renewal. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Life Tells Stories, and share it with others who appreciate meaningful narratives. Together, we can celebrate the beauty of second chances. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay inspired and take care.